Hi everybody, welcome back to the Drunken Bull Ranch. I'm Reed. Just thought that I'd show you the chickens. Those broilers are getting bigger. Oh, Zoe's coming to join me. So, I thought that I would show you the broiler chickens and how fast they're growing. They are downing, well, let's see, 3 gallons of water twice a day. That's 6 gallons of water. And they are eating probably around about 10 pounds of feed, not counting the grass that they're on. Let me show you this. This is where they were yesterday. Day before, I already moved it, sweetheart. And you can see that as I progress my way this way, we move them once a day. And by the time I get about right there, you can't even tell that they were here. So, here, let me turn around and give you this other shot. So you can kind of see the trail there. But they are growing well, and hopefully they're fertilizing this ground. I'm going to say they're drinking more water than I thought they would, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I did find that because of the wind up here, I have to put a rock on top of this thing so it doesn't blow open, because it blew open one day, broke one of the boards. Zoe was all kinds of excited about that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you was the pasture. Now, as you can see from previous videos, hang on baby, I'm filming. The fences are going in. There you go. I've made it down to right about there with the posts. I gotta go down to right down there and then across the field over to there. We can get Bruiser out of his pen and out here eating this grass. But what I wanted to show you is this. This is what we're getting. There are a lot of weeds out here. I mean, you can see that weed there. There's weeds everywhere. But I expect that a little bit. I am astounded at how much of the alfalfa came back. If you look across the field, there is a lot of alfalfa. Go. I have even seen... Go, Daddy. Hang on, baby. Go. I have even seen some clover out here. But, yeah. It's coming along quite nicely. We'll see how it turns out. Go, Daddy, go. But I thought I'd share that. Go, hang on, sweetheart. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so here is a little interesting tidbit for you. You can see this section of open dirt right here. Okay, so this is what I can tell you about this section. Last fall, I had a bunch of fertilizer and things like that had been sitting in the shed for who knows how long. And because I don't like using them, I decided I would just get rid of them. So there was probably 4 bags, 5 bags. They were all partial bags, so they weren't full. I'm not entirely certain how much there was. Anyway, I took it and just kind of walked out here and threw it around. Now, I'm going to say that I threw some over there, and I threw some over there, and probably some back over here. But that is what happens to the ground if you put too much fertilizer on it. Nothing grows, which I found very interesting. I mean, there are some weeds starting to come, But I found that very interesting. This is why I don't necessarily like industrial fertilizers, or whatever you want to call them, because I know there was seed planted here and it hasn't done anything. So I just found that kind of interesting. Now granted, I mean, probably burned the soil, I think that's what they call it, from too much fertilizer, but I just thought that was rather interesting. Like I said, just kind of dumped it in the bucket of the tractor and ran out there and just slowly dumped it out as I drove, just to get rid of it, which apparently was kind of dumb. Anyway, yeah, so that part just kind of made me go, that's interesting. Now, as you can see right here, some of the alfalfa didn't come back, and the grass is struggling right here. This soil in this area just not the best, but it is growing. So yeah, that's kind of a better view. But for some reason, this soil in this area just was not very great. I'm hoping to put some manure on it this fall and improve it some. I have similar difficulties out here, which it's kind of interesting because you can see the alfalfa and everything growing great there. Then there's like this patch that's not growing real well. Then there's this patch that's growing pretty good. And then there's this patch that's not growing good either. I mean, there's a lot of weeds, but the grass is coming. So, yeah, I kind of find that interesting. And maybe I'll do some soil tests or something on this. I'm kind of curious as to why it's doing that. Especially since that is the three-way out here. That is our hay crop this year. And it's coming along quite well. You can see the split. So the fence line is going to go right here, and that's the hayfield, and this side over here is going to be the pasture. But it's kind of interesting to me how there's a major difference. Now this side over here, we've worked and fertilized for about 3 years. This is our 3rd year here. This side over here is the first time it's ever been planted. And some of it's doing quite well. There is a section right along through there. It kind of goes sideways through the property down into that corner right over there that is not doing so great. That's an area where a lot of rock was removed, and I got my hand in there. Sorry about that. I'm using my phone tonight. It doesn't seem to be growing that well, but I mean, it's all growing, but it's not keeping up. For example, let me show you this. Now you can see where the rows missed with the cedar, but it's growing pretty good. And as I work my way over here, I'm actually out here because I got to move the water lines, but as I work my way over here, this area is where I spread some manure pretty heavy, and it is doing fabulous. But like I said, as I work my way over here to where the seam of rock was that we took out, or tried to take out, there's still a lot of rock out here. You can see how it just kind of slows down, and it's not as thick and as lush. You can see that the water ran over here, and I dumped a whole lot of manure here. I mean, I've even got a mushroom growing right there. See that? Yeah. But from up there, about where that sprinkler is, all the way down and around to that corner of the field, it seems to be struggling. And again, I kind of find some of this stuff interesting. Like I said, This area here that I'm looking at, there was a lot of rock. I didn't get as much manure in there as I'd like. I didn't get mixed as well as I'd like. This field still needs a lot of work, but it is growing. It's just not growing as fast as some of the other parts of the field. For example, you can almost see the line there, where right here it's just not growing as well. And then, I mean, you walk 3 feet and it starts to thicken right up and lush up and look good. So I've got a lot of work left to do on this field, but we'll have to wait until we get a crop off of it, and hopefully we'll get something decent. I should also tell you guys, I believe I have a deal going for 2 Charolais heifers. The gentleman that I'm buying from sells them in January, and so I told him that I wanted 2 Charolais heifers. I've never raised Charolais. They're good looking heifers. So I guess his deal is that he sells them to pay taxes on the property or something. Anyway, I don't know. But he said he doesn't sell them till January. So I told him I'd pay him market price, whatever that is, in January. And so hopefully we're going to have 2 more heifers. And thinking maybe crossbreeding with an Angus or something like that. I don't know. It remains to be seen. But just thought I'd show you guys that. As always, support your local farmers. Have a wonderful day. And hopefully this video was somewhat informative. Don't give me too much grief about it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.